he'll make some comments if he feels like doing it. If you do have any questions or comments about the 8 hands that we've played tonight, then please address them to the table, and I will do, or Eric will do, one of us will try and answer any questions or comments that you have. Send it to the table so that everybody can see what the question is and what we're trying to answer. Okay, we told you at the beginning of the evening, or at least more or less at the beginning, that these hands were all about safety plays. Okay, I'm going to mute everybody. Eric can unmute himself. Mute all, there we go. And Eric can unmute himself when he's ready. Okay. These hands are all about safety plays, and safety plays are what can we do to make sure we make our contract at the possible expense of making overtricks. Overtricks become unimportant. What we're worried about is making sure we make the contract, and we try to find the best line to do that. Okay, so board 1 is on your screen, and the lead is, well, the contract is going to be 6 spades by North after an uncontested auction, so we'll just bid 6 spades. And one of the things that I have noticed when I've been watching some of these hands is that some players don't appear to appreciate what the problem is. They're sure it's associated with the trump suit because everything else looks pretty solid. So they'll leave the trumps alone until they have to make a decision. And that's not really the way we should approach it. We should approach it, what can go wrong? If the spades break 3-1 or 2-2, there is absolutely no problem at all with this hand. None at all. We'll make 4 club tricks, 2 diamonds and 3 hearts, and at least 4 spades. So the only danger that may possibly exist on this hand is that trumps break 4-0. The one thing we mustn't do is lead a top trump from either hand. We can lead a little trump from either hand, then we can cater for it. If we lead a top trump from dummy, the king of spades, then we're definitely going to lose 2 spades, as you can see. And if we happen to lead the ace of spades from our hand, well, we're lucky because West goes out and now we can limit East's tricks to 1. But there is a play that will allow us to limit the opposition's tricks to 1, come what may, by simply playing a little spade. Can be from either hand, it doesn't matter. We got the lead of the queen of diamonds. And our one objective is not to lose 2 spades. The rest of the hand can take care of itself. So what we're going to do, we're going to play a little spade. If East follows, we're just going to cover what he plays. Let West win with a singleton jack maybe. Doesn't matter, because now the suit will have broken 3-1 and the other 2 spades will fall under the ace king, and we've made sure that we've made our contract. If East had shown out on that first spade, then we'd have gone up with the king and led small towards the ace 10, and doesn't matter what East West would do now, we can still limit him to 1 trick. So I think that's comparatively easy, and yet so many, I think, got it wrong. I was a bit surprised. I thought, nice easy one to start with. They'll all see what the problem is. All I'm in danger of losing is 2 spades. So how can I control that? Well, the answer is by playing a low spade from one hand or the other. Didn't even matter which one. Okay, so having done that, of course, now West showed out. Now we can cash the king and the ace. And we can even give him his spade trick because we've got the rest of the tricks. Doesn't matter what he does now. And claim our 12 tricks. Okay, I'm not sure how many people got that wrong. Yeah. But But, I watched a couple of them and they got it wrong, I think, and I was a little surprised. But it's a matter of recognizing, what can go wrong. It looks so easy that maybe you don't stop to think what can go wrong. Okay. Do we have any questions or comments? You got anything to say about that one, Eric?
Not really, no.
Okay. Do we have any other questions or comments on board one? Okay, we'll move on to board two. I'll find it. Here it is, board two. Board two. No, it doesn't want to come on. So again, board two. There we go. Now this one I think caused a few problems. Some people made it, although they probably shouldn't have done. I don't know of anybody that actually played this the way I think it ought to be played. Ken saw the four trumps and he thought this is safety plays. Yeah, he's a very bright guy. Board two, contract, 3 no trumps, 1 no trump, 3 no trumps by East. So there's our 3 no trumps. And we get the lead of the Jack of Spades. Well, let's count our tricks. But by the way, I think I've got a treat for you tonight. I'm going to show you an extra hand of the day. It's not a play problem. It's a director's problem. I'm going to ask your opinion on how a ruling should be given. That's a hand I'll show you at the end, if you want me to. I found it very fascinating. It's a few years old now, but caused a lot of problems. But back to this one. What have we got? Well, we've got 3 heart tricks. We've got 2 diamond tricks is 5. We've got a club is 6. Hopefully the spade finesse will work, because if it doesn't, we might be in trouble. Have we got time to develop a second club trick? Not really, because what will happen if the spade, even if the spade finesse wins, if we tackle the clubs, the opposition will win the race. They will set up their spades before we set up the club trick, because we've got to lose 2 club tricks, and they've only got 2. We're going to be a step behind. But let's have a look and see what the spade finesse. Well, that worked. Okay, but now what have we got now? 2 spade tricks, 3 heart tricks is 5, 1 club is 6, and 2 diamonds is 8. And we haven't got time to set a club trick. If we duck a club, they'll clear the spades, and then they'll cash too many spades when we duck another club. We can't really expect the communication not to be there for them to cash those spades. And we don't know whether the spades are 4-4 or 5-3. There's a diamond finesse that we could take, but we would do that if we needed 4 diamond tricks. But we don't. We only need 3. 3 diamond tricks will see us home. And there is a safety play to make 3 diamond tricks, or to give yourself the best chance of making 3 diamond tricks, that doesn't involve taking the finesse as such. And that safety play is to cash the ace and the king, and if nothing has happened, then lead small towards the jack. You will still make it if the diamond finesse would have worked. You will still make 3 tricks if the diamonds are 3-3. And as you can see on this particular case, you get an extra bonus. You'll make it also if they're 4-2, but North has the doubleton queen. If you take the finesse, then you won't make 3 diamond tricks. So this is a recognized position for making 3 tricks. You give up all chance of making 4, but you don't need 4. You only need 3. So we leave the other suits alone. That's our plan. we're going to cash the ace of diamonds and then the king of diamonds. And if nothing exciting happens, we'll play another one towards the jack. If south has got the queen, the jack will be promoted, and that will give us 3 tricks. If north has got 3 to the queen, then the suit is broken. And if north has got queen 10 to 4, then we couldn't do anything about it anyway. Wouldn't matter what we did. So having won that one, so here's our ace of diamonds. Was I right, Ken? Are you kicking yourself? And as we see, the queen drops. We didn't know it was going to drop, but we did know that was an extra chance. Now we'll play a diamond. There's our 9th trick. And we can afford to cash our 3 hearts, the ace of spades and the ace of clubs. And that will bring our total up to 9. Okay. So if you haven't seen that before, and I think most of you have if you've been attending the Dare sessions for a long time, but this is why we're talking about safety plays, Terry. Yeah. You know, we're not trying at match points. The chances of the diamonds breaking 3-3 is not very high. It's about 1/3 of the time, roughly. So if you say to yourself, if I take the diamond for this mess and it's wrong, now if they're 3-3, you're still going to be all right. Right? If they're 4-2 and it's wrong, regardless of who's got the 4, you'll go off. 50% of the time, roughly, south will hold the queen. But the other 50%, north will hold the queen. And if he's only got 2, down you go. But anyway, we're not talking about match points here. All these hands are making the contract. Yeah. Okay. But that is a well-recognised safety play with that holding. It could be king jack to 4 opposite ace to 3, of course. That doesn't change what we ought to do. If we need just 3 tricks from that combination, that's the way we ought to play it. Okay. Do we have any questions or comments on board 2? Anything from Eric?
No, not really. I mean, I suppose a lot of people did try and play on clubs, which, you know, is kind of looking what's the best way I can make my 9th trick.
It's because they've got 8 clubs between them rather than 7 diamonds.
Yeah, but rather than thinking rather than seeing that the opposition get 5 tricks first.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's more you need to start always think about, you know, what the opposition are trying to do as well. I suppose is a way to avoid falling into that trap.
Yeah, no trumps especially. We ought to think of it as a race. We're trying to establish our tricks before the opposition establishes their tricks, and they get a head start because they make the opening lead. So, and here it doesn't take a genius to work out that if we play on clubs, the spades will be established before we can set up a second club. We've got to lose the lead twice. Doesn't matter how they're distributed. Okay. Any other questions or comments on board 2? Very good. On to board 3. Diamond is better. No, not because of the high cards, but because they allow you to, well, if the diamonds were 4-2, Ken, that would be a downside. I mean, you're okay simply because the queen was doubleton, but if you dock a diamond, you could be losing to 10 doubleton in the south hand. And then north has still got his queen to come, you know. Yeah? Board 3, here we go. And let's have a look. South is going to play in 3 no trumps. We don't need the auction as such. And we get the lead of a low heart. Right. Now those diamonds look really lovely. Yes. What can go wrong? Well, the diamonds can break badly. That's what can go wrong. And we don't have another entry to dummy. Dummy has only got diamonds as entries. So if we want to make the most of those diamond tricks, we've got to allow for the fact that the diamonds might break badly. And how do we do that? Well, to maintain communication and make sure we can get there, we duck the first one. And that's really all there was to do. We count our tricks. We've got one spade. We're lucky that they played, that they had a heart and not a spade. If they need a spade, now if we try to duck a diamond, we're in danger, aren't we? We would be all right because the spades are 4-3, but if they were 5-2, then we would be going off. We would lose four spades and a diamond if we tried to duck a diamond. We'll come back to that theme in another hand in a moment. But here we can afford to lose the lead. We've got controls in the other suits. So provided we make, excuse me, provided we make 5 diamonds, and the ace king of hearts and the ace and 2 black aces, that will bring our total up to 9. So we don't need 6 tricks in diamonds, we only need 5. So we're saying, have a present, have a diamond. And of course, if the diamonds were breaking 3-2 all the time, we've just given away a trick. Might be important at match points. Probably would be important at match points. It depends how popular you think 3 no trumps would be and how many pairs you'll be playing in 5 diamonds. I think it's probably the right line to duck anyway, but that's open to it. When we're trying to make our contract, ducking the diamonds, definitely right. And now the diamonds have broken not worse than 4-1, and we can claim our 9 tricks. We really don't have a problem. Everybody made that one, and everybody ducked the diamond, yes, we know. They learned that one, didn't they? Day 2. Do we have any questions or comments on board 3? Okay, board 4. Let's find board 4. And again, 3 no trumps the contract. How many made this one, Sanya? I know Jack made it. I was watching him. 2 out of 4 made. Well, the lead that you were given was the Queen of Spades. But before I lead the Queen of Spades, how would we play it on the lead of a heart? The Queen of Hearts in particular. Okay, now here's the point. We don't know how the hearts are breaking. So if we try and take the safety play in diamonds that we're just going to come to in a moment, if we give the opposition a diamond, they may be able to cash 4 more heart tricks. We don't know. So we would have to play for the diamonds to break if we got a high heart lead, because we don't know how the hearts are breaking. But we didn't. We got the Queen of Spades lead. And we can control 2 rounds of spades, so we don't mind losing the lead. Let's count our tricks. 2 spades, 1 heart is 3, 1 club is 4, and we've got this lovely diamond suit. What can go wrong? The diamonds might not be breaking. If we cash the king, queen of diamonds and then cross to the ace of spades, and, hoping to make the rest of the diamonds, well, South won't follow to the second diamond, but then it's too late. We can't set up the diamonds and get to them. So if we think ahead, how many diamonds do we need? We need 5. We've got 4 more tricks, ace, king of spades and 2 other aces. We don't need 6 diamonds, we only need 5. So keeping this ace of spades as an entry, we're going to cash the king of diamonds, and we're going to make sure that we set the other diamonds up by overtaking the queen, forcing out the jack. The ace of spades is still there. And now we've got muted you for a moment, Eric. Okay. Now we've got the 9 tricks that we counted to start with. 5 diamond tricks, 2 spades, ace of hearts, ace of clubs. And we didn't mind. Saw it too late, I guess. Well, you've heard me say before, a bridge technician, somebody that knows exactly what to do, 10 seconds after they've done something different. And it's so easily to happen. I noticed Jack really thought about that hand, but he got it right. And this thought process that you need to go through to get things like this right, they take time. And a lot of people will say, well, I don't have time and I'm playing in competitions. It gets easier. The more you do it, the easier it gets. That's about as much as I can say. So if playing in this environment, we don't put any pressure for time on you. We say, take as long as you like. So take as long as you like in these events anyway. And hopefully that will put you in good stead for when you're playing in other competitions. Okay, so the secret here, because we've got control of the spades again, we're going to make sure we make our 5 diamond tricks, cash the king or the queen, then overtake the other runner and force out the jack while we've still got the ace of spades as an entry. We've given up all chance of making 6 diamonds, but we didn't need 6. That's what safety plays are about. Okay, any questions or comments on board 4? The queen of spades was the opening lead, Mikiko, yeah. Okay, we go on to board 5. You got anything to say, Eric? You can unmute yourself. Fine. You could get it right with a heart lead, but the problem is, Jack, on a heart lead, if they lead a queen of hearts, you might have queen jack to 5. And now if you dock the diamond, they can catch 4 more heart tricks. So you don't know. As it happens, it's okay because they're 4-4. That's if you trust the opposition signaling. Yeah.
But a quick point about taking time. If you take time at the beginning of a hand, you can take much less time later in the hand. And so save time that way. People waste a lot of time.
Reaching a point where they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's right. And the people faff around the bridge table as well. They'll, writing stuff down, filling in things, and you save as much time as you can, then you do have time to think about it.
Okay, I'm pleased to say Jack got this one right too. And this is really, again, a matter of thinking what can go wrong. We get a 3 spade opening, so we think North's got probably 7 spades, and West takes a chance. He's only got 2 losers, a spade and a diamond. Surely partner's got something, may not be able to get it as a club trick, but nevertheless, 6 hearts is not an unreasonable bid to make. And we get the lead of the king of spades. All right, let's count our tricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hearts. 1 spade is 8. 2 diamonds is 10. 2 clubs is 12. What can possibly go wrong? Well, if you think about it for long enough, the only thing that can go wrong is that if we put the ace on this trick, South could possibly ruff it. That means North will start off with 8 spades rather than 7, but there's no law against that. Yeah, it's a possibility. And the point is, if you take the ace of spades now and it works, you're going to have to give up a diamond later. Whereas if you take if you don't take the ace of spades now, they'll make a spade trick, but you'll be able to throw your diamond away on a spade later, and they won't be able to ruff that. So the only thing that can go wrong is that your ace of spades will get ruffed if you play it now. So if we don't play it now, South won't ruff it. South will tell his partner to play a diamond. Okay, but North will not continue with another spade. Here, he'll do what his partner said, play a diamond. You can see what's going to happen now. You're going to cash all the drops. They can't be worse than 3-1, 3-0. You have a definite head to Johnny. And there our diamond loser is safely disposed of. So again, it's simply a matter of thinking what could possibly go wrong. And if your ace of spades, you play it and it gets rough and you think, oh, that's unlucky. Well, maybe next time you'll think, could I have done anything about it? Because on this hand, you could have done something about it. You could have thrown a diamond on the spade instead of following the spade. That's what it boils down to. Yeah, well done, Jack. I know Jack got it right. And 2 out of the 4 tables got it right. Thanks, Sonia. Yeah. Check if you did. Yeah. Okay. Do we have any other questions or comments on board 5? Okay. Board 6 coming up. Board 6. Here we go. Now, board 6 is 2 no trumps, 3 no trumps. So East is going to be in 3 no trumps. Well, and the lead is the King of Hearts. Okay. What have we got? We've got 2 spade tricks, and the Ace of Hearts is 3, and 1 diamond is 4. Possibly another one with the Queen of Diamonds. We don't know if finesses work, but when they're problems that I've given you, you know damn well they won't. I know. So it looks like we need 5 club tricks. Can we make 5 club tricks? Well, clearly we can if the clubs are 3-2. We cash the king, the ace, and the queen, and the rest of the suit is good. We don't have a problem. So really, what can go wrong? The clubs can behave badly. Somebody might have 4 clubs. Now, we don't have the entries to get to dummy and finesse the 10 of clubs on the way back, even if we had reason to believe that North had got 4 to the jack. Because by the time we found out that he's got 4 to the jack, we couldn't do anything about it. So we can't cope with North having 4 clubs to the jack, although that is considerably more likely than South having 4 to the jack. But we can't cope with it. If he has, we're going down almost certainly. We'll have 1 heart, 2 spades is 3, and only 3 club tricks is 6. Even the diamond finesse won't save us. So we ignore that possibility. So let's concentrate on South having 4 to the jack. Well, we're going to dock the first heart. He'll play another one, and we'll take this one. Now, let's see what happens if we play the suit as normal, shall we say. If we play the king and then the ace. Well, we'll find out if they're 4-1. Right, we play a second one. Oh dear, they are 4-1 and South has got them. What's going to happen? We're going to play the jack, and South is not going to oblige us by covering that 10. He knows the suit is blocked. If he doesn't put his jack on, you can't put the queen on, but then you can't get to dummy. So he's not going to do that. So we've got to try and avoid that situation by unblocking the 10 earlier. So we don't play a little club to dummy. We're acting on the assumption that only 4 with South is something we can deal with, and we need to get this out of the way. So I think Ken actually ran the 10, but that worked, but not really the best play. So we're going to put the queen or the ace on. And now we're going to play a little on that. But here's the difference. We now know they're 4-1, but we have a finesse position against the jack. We can simply cover whatever South plays. He puts the jack in. And now we have our 5 club tricks, 2 spades, a heart, and the diamond. But not only that, let's have a look. You can see what's going to happen here. We know now exactly what South has got left. He's got 2 hearts left, and he's got 2 diamonds. He may have the king of diamonds, he may not. But we know that he's going to be able to cash the 2 hearts. And he's then going to have to play a diamond. And we finish up with an overtrick. How many made the overtrick? I bet nobody did. Oh, 2 tables made up 1. Yeah, well done. Okay, there we go. We've finished up with 10 tricks. But the secret of the hand, irrespective of that, the end play at the end, your partner did well, I guess, is the unblocking of the 10 of clubs on the first round of the suit to cater for South having 4 to the jack. The ops threw spades away. Oh, that was kind of them, Ken. But when you're cashing long suits, it can be quite difficult for them. Yeah. You don't know what other suit you've got. Yeah. 1 no trump, 3 no trumps, or worse than 2 no trumps, 3 no trumps. They don't know what length in suits you got. They presume probably that West has got a major because they haven't tried to find one. But dummy doesn't help them decide what other suit to keep, does it? Okay. Do we have any other questions or comments on board 6? Again, this is quite a common position, this possible blocking of the suit. You've got to recognise that A, North having 4 to the jack, 8, whatever, would be unmanageable. We couldn't cope with it. So we don't try to cope with it. Either they're breaking 3-2, or we can cope with South having 4, but only if we play the 10 to the ace or the queen first. Otherwise we get this block situation and South won't get us out of trouble. Okay, any more comments or questions on board 6? We'd love to hear your questions, or comments. I hope these aren't too difficult for you. No? Now comes a super easy hand that some tables made, but none did it right, says Sanya. Let's have a look. Let's put board 7 up on. Export, update table. Yes, some made this, but how many made this, Sanya? South is going to pay in 6 spades, and the option doesn't really matter. Okay, and we get the lead of the Queen of Hearts. 3 made it. Yeah, I know that some made it on a missed defence, but the opposition didn't stop Declare roughing his other heart, I suspect. But let's have a look at it. Right, we've got, assuming that this stands up, which it does. Right, what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spades. 2 hearts is 9. 2 other aces in the minors, that's 11. And a heart ruffing dummy is 12. Okay, so we do have 12 tricks. I think most of you will have noticed that dummies trumps couldn't be over roughed. So we don't have a problem about a heart ruff being over roughed. So what is the potential problem? Well, the potential problem is that if we try to cash a second heart, let's see what happens. East roughs, and he stops at roughing 2 of our hearts by the spade back. And now we can only rough 1 of those hearts, and we're going to have to give West a heart, and that will be 1 down. Save it as it is now, says Sanya. Alright, so we'll claim this as 1 down, and then I'll put it back on the table, Sanya. Okay. Let me find it again. Export to the table. There we go. And South 6 spades again. Now, no doubt Declarer will say, oh, I was really unlucky there, that second heart being roughed. But he didn't need that luck in the first place. Here's our Queen of Hearts lead again. And what we're going to do now, because we only need to rough 1 heart. We don't mind losing a heart, as long as we can rough the other one. So now we'll play a heart, not the ace. There's no point in East or in East roughing it. It's his partner's trick. His partner can do his best by playing a spade. Pharaoh wins, and now we're going to rough the other heart. And we noticed before that the 6 and the 7 were high. Now he doesn't need to play a spade, does he? He can play a club. But now we can come back to hand the minor, no matter which one. And now we can claim the rest, just drawing the trumps. So once we see it, it's easy. We win the first heart, we duck the second one, just in case it was going to get roughed. We didn't mind losing a heart. What we couldn't afford was to lose the ace of hearts being roughed and them taking 1 of our heart roughs away. Okay. Quite a difficult one. So, yeah, it is so easy once you think of it, but thinking of it is quite a blind spot for some people, I think. Okay, do we have any questions or comments on board 7? I think that was one of the tougher hands of the night myself. But, I know some people got it right because the opposition misdefended in not trying to knock out dummies trumps. So some people may have made it when they shouldn't. And of course what happens if you make a contract that you shouldn't, sometimes you won't even know that you've done anything wrong. You'll think, oh, we did well to pick that partner, you're not really aware that the opposition have helped you on your way. Sometimes you are, sometimes you say to partner, well, good job they didn't play a diamond and whatever. No. Any questions or comments on board 7? Yeah, Terry. Why didn't you play today, Terry? You busy or late or waiting for Easter? You were late. What a shame. Okay, well, no doubt you'll be back next week and probably with Alan. I should imagine. I've got another set of hands I've given to Alan. He hasn't confirmed that they're okay yet, but he's looking at them and hopefully they'll use them next week. Let's give you a board. I would. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Pass 6 clubs by North. There we go. If South open, if North open 3 clubs, I got a lovely hand, but North hasn't promised ace king to 7. He might have sort of king queen to 7, and the opposition with ace double can hold it up, and I can't get to dummy anymore. So. Also mind if the hot seat east was in, if declarer played the second heart high. Yes, I mean, East had to rough it and play a trump back. He had to realise the significance of playing a trump back. If they lead a trump to start with, that's a different story, Sanya. If they lead a trump to start with, then they can take it off, I suspect, because the declarer can't get a heart ruff at all. He tries to cash 2, which he probably will. And East will ruff the second one and plays second trump, and now South has got heart raises. So I don't think he can make it if the original lead is a trump. We're kind to you, we give you friendly leads. The question is here, 6 clubs we're in, look at all these tricks, 1, 2, 3 diamonds, 2 spades is 5, 6, 7, hearts, we've got 7 tricks in hearts, we just need 6 club tricks. And, well, if we start off with ace, king, X and play another one, most of the time we'll be all right. Yeah, most of the time, but here we're looking what can go wrong. Well, 6-0 trumps, despite the good suit in dummy in Northhand, is going down on this awful club break. But we're not in 6-0 trumps, we're in 6 clubs. Now the question is, can we cope with a 4-0 break? Well, the answer is, if East has got 4, yes we can. If West has got 4, no we can't. So we ignore the West possibility, because if he's got Queen 10, 9, 8 in the West hand, we can't stop him making 2 tricks. It doesn't matter what we do. So we concentrate our efforts on what do we do if East has got 4 clubs to the Queen 10. And now the answer, we're back on the same what we did in board 1. We play small towards the jack. We guard ourselves against East having the holding that he does have. So we get the lead of the Queen of Spades. We don't even need to win that. We can roll and lead a little club. If East doesn't take his Queen now, the Jack will win, and then we can cash the Ace King of clubs and give him a club. And if he does take his Queen now, there's nothing he can do that will help him. We've now got 12 tricks. He can continue spades. We can win that one now. Don't need anymore. We can cash the Jack. Now we're off the spade. And now we're drawing the trumps. And we don't have a problem anymore. How many got this one right, Tanya? Don't know. Okay. 3 out of 4. Okay. Blue found this easy. Blue will find lots of these easy, I think. He may find them a little trickier next week. I think I've given you the easier set of the two this week. But Alan may change them around because he does sometimes. I give him the hands that I've prepared, or at least I probably prepared maybe 20 years ago. And he'll change them about. He'll improve them, so to speak. So, yeah, we missed you, Jock. It's nice to have you back. I hope your wife's getting better. And, okay. Do we have any other questions or comments on board 8? Okay. Do you want to see this extra hand that I was going to show you, which is all about? I've got to close that down now.
Yes, yes, we do.
Yes, you do. Thank you, Eric. Okay. I need to close that down. I'm going to find it now. Bear with me just a moment. I'm curious. I'm just going to ask you, for your opinion on what you think would be right. Here we go. Now this is the board. Go to the table. And the auction went 2 spades by east, which is a weak 2, yeah. 2 no trumps from south, natural. Hearts, 3 no trumps from north. Okay, so perfectly straightforward sort of bidding sequence. Nothing wrong with the bidding. South, 2 no trumps. North raises to 3 after this weak 2 in opening. Well, West happened to be me at the time. I'm a good soul. I lead partner's suit. So what happens is to declare a 1 in dummy. And took a half inch, which I routinely ducked. Okay, all right so far. Now declare played a club to the king and took half inch again. Now, if I take the king of hearts now, declare has got loads of tricks. He's already taken 3 tricks. He'll take 2 more hearts, that's 5, and 2 diamonds is 7, and the ace of clubs and the ace of spades. He'll have 9 tricks. But I can see a chance that if Declarer thinks the heart finesse is working, he just might cross the dummy with the club and take the heart finesse again. And then I shall have enough clubs to take him off. So this is a team's match. I think that's not an unreasonable thing to do. Eric might think otherwise, but that's what I did. So I took the heart again. So what happened? Declarer blindly played a club, and then he played a heart, and Heart played the 9. And what do you think happened now? Well, I'll tell you what happened. Declarer claimed. Now this is sitting at a table. This is not on BBO. This is at a table, face to face, in a hall. Declarer just laid down his cards and didn't say a word. All right. I waited for a few minutes or so in case there was a statement going to be forthcoming, but there wasn't. So I called for the director. Now the director looked at the hand and said, 1 off. All right, so we recorded it as 1 off. It's going more than 1 off, in fact, because, if I take the king of hearts, I got 4 more clubs to cash. But, no, that's still only 1 off, isn't it? It's still only 1 off, yes. Okay, 1 off as a result. South decided to appeal. And South's argument was that At this moment in time, he's already taken 5 tricks. And he's got the ace king of diamonds, the ace of hearts, the ace of spades to make. He's got 4 more tricks. That's 9 tricks. He's playing teams. What rule, he wished to know, forces him to take a finesse that puts his contract at risk? Now, we know that no declarer can take a finesse that he hasn't announced in the play, but is it required to say, I'm not going to take the finesse? Not according to the rules that I'm aware of. So this went to the appeals committee, and the appeals committee decided that he had a case, he's got 4 more tricks, and he's not. He didn't claim any number of tricks. That was the problem, Terry. He just laid his cards down on the table. Yeah, if he'd have claimed I'm taking 4 more tricks, there wouldn't have been a problem. So, well, you heard his argument that, we can't force him, nobody can force him to take a finesse that he hasn't stated he's going to take. And he doesn't need it to make his contract. He won't be down 2 because the most we can take is the king of hearts and 4 clubs. Now, in their infinite wisdom, the appeals committee ruled this contract as just making. And you can see for yourself, if he does play the ace of hearts, then the queen of hearts becomes another trick, and you can't avoid making 10 tricks unless it's absolutely stupid. Right? But does it feel fair? I was convinced, as West, that if play had continued, he would have gone down. Why didn't he make his claim when the second heart finesse succeeded? He's got the tricks he needs. Why did he cross the dummy and take another heart finesse? Or play a heart towards his ace queen? He didn't actually take the finesse. Wasn't that relevant? The appeals committee thought about it for a long time, and they all said, if this had been a pairs competition, we'd still be talking about it, because now the overtricks are important, of course, but this was teams. Well, I gave this hand after this event. I mean, in the event, it was ruled as 3 no trumps making exactly. And we could have appealed to the national body, which would have been the EBU in this country. But that would have cost us, I think, 40 quid at the time. We probably would have got it back because it wouldn't have been a frivolous appeal for sure. But it wasn't really that important to us. It was a league match. We were not in contention, so we let it go. But I did give the hand to as many of my director friends as I knew, and I knew a lot of them. Some top class national directors, some county directors, and some local directors. One exception, a guy called Ron Pick, who is now deceased, I'm afraid, but he was the exception. Everybody else ruled it as -1, but couldn't argue against South's claim about taking the number of tricks that he needed and not taking a finesse that he hadn't announced he was going to take. Ron Pick was made of sterner stuff. He said, I'll let him make his contract because I can't stop him, but I will fine him 8 imps as a procedural penalty for not making a comprehensive statement. And I think that's probably as fair as anything. But the hand struck in my mind, the rules seem to allow him to make his contract. We just don't see a way around it. We can't force him to take a finesse that if it's wrong, he goes off with. So, but what the rules do say is that when you make a claim, you should claim as many tricks as you're intending to take and make a statement as to how you're going to take them. So that's what the rules say. So my friend Ron said, he's making his 400 for making 3 no trumps, or 430, whatever it is, but 8 imps fine for not making a comprehensive statement. And I think that's reasonable. Okay, what's everybody else think? I can see that Jack's made a comment, and so has Terry. Do you think that was a fair result for no trumps making? What do you think, Eric?
Well, so what did he actually say when he made his claim.
He didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything.
Not a word. He just spread his cards on the table.
Mm.
And I sat as West and waited for him to say something.
You see, it's not clear whether he's even made a claim, technically according to the law.
I know.
And I'm just reading this, a statement made by a player during play as to claim exceeding a specific number of tricks as a claim or concession. The claim to further win a specific number of tricks as a concession and the remainder of any other tricks yet to be played. The player concedes all remaining tricks on abandoning his hand. Could say he abandoned his hand, it didn't say anything and put it down, I don't know. Because it's very unusual to put your hand down and not say anything when you're not claiming anything.
I think he thought it was being obvious. I mean, I think he wouldn't answer the question, were you intending to take the finesse? He said, I don't need to answer that question. Well, he's right. Yeah. He's not obliged to, So.
Well, he has to say the line. It's one thing to say, I'm claiming 9 tricks, 8 hearts, and then you say, oh, you make 10 then, well done.
Yeah. Didn't say anything.
I'm taking the marked finesse, and you say, oh, unlucky.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't say anything, I mean, all doubt, the director rules as fairly as possible.
Yeah.
But any doubtful points goes to the non-offending side.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Hasn't made a technically correct claim. It hasn't said a number of tricks or so to the line. So if there is a doubtful point, it would go to your side. So I would say, he could have covered himself by making a simple statement, I'm taking my top tricks, or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, Nancy is making the point that the safest thing is to ask how many tricks are you claiming. But the problem with that, Nancy, if you ask that when declarer thinks it's obvious, you're simply alerting declarers that there is a problem that he wasn't aware of. So no, I mean, the director has to decide. If he doesn't make a statement, then you don't push him into making a statement, because the very fact of asking him to make a statement will alert him that there's something he's not aware of. If you see what I mean. Yeah. I think it's an interesting point that I've never seen repeated anywhere else. It's quite an unusual situation, but I thought you might be interested in passing judgment and what you would have done if you would have been the director at this point. So no, this happened in the 1980s in a league match in Liverpool against the great John Armstrong and Graham Kirby. Graham Kirby is still alive. His partner John Armstrong is dead. But this wasn't this. They weren't at this table. They were the other half of the team. And it was John Armstrong, who was acting as a director at the time, who said -1. But then it went through an appeals committee, and South said, you can't stop me taking my 4 top tricks. I don't need to take a finesse. Why should I take it? Yeah, precisely, exactly. Anyway, I thought you'd find it interesting. I hope you have. I shall pop in with these extra hands every once in a while about something interesting, or maybe spectacular, or whatever. Okay. Yeah. Who's the committee? Well, I mean, the appeals committee is formed of other players there at the time. Not the appeals committee is not at the EBU. If you want to, you can give the hand to the EBU along with, I think it's probably even more now, but I think it used to be £40 in those days. And they would look at it and give you a decision. And if they considered the appeal frivolous, that it wasn't worth making, you don't get your £40 back. If they think the appeal has got merit, regardless of which way they rule, then you get your money back. But it takes a long time.